In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to tie the Slim Beauty. It's one of my favorite mainline to leader knots. Mainline giving that it is braid, and then leader could be any sort of a mono, fluoro, copolymer, etc., etc. All right, and this actually works really, really well, not only on thick line, but also super thin line, which I have some in back, which I'll show you later. And before we get started, I'm going to show you guys a couple things, and I think this knot here, the GT knot, there's a lot of knots actually utilize this, little figure 8 looking like loop where you actually have thread through both of them. That is actually stupid and dumb. That's actually just a plain out uni-knot with, maybe two wraps. So I'm gonna show you that in a second. But yeah, once again, it works really well with thin line and thick line. If you have very, very thin braid line and thick leader material, it still works. And the trick for that is you actually just double up your braided line and it will work. And it's really important that you guys do that because this is essentially a uni-knot on a clinch knot. That's right, Slim Beauty is that simple, okay? So let's get started. For this tutorial, I'm going to use thicker lines so it makes it easier for the camera and for your eyes and also my eyes since I'm looking through the back part of my camera. I have 20-pound monofilament here and it's high vis, so it shows up really, really nice with the black light. And I got some Cast King Super Power 40-pound braided line, all right? And yep, let's get started. Remember, I mentioned to you guys earlier, a lot of tutorial videos and a lot of tutorial infographics, they tell you to do this, okay? They tell you to make a loop and do overhand knot like this twice, right? Wrapping around the tag end twice into this loop and pull it very, very, very small, okay? And then once you get it to a point where it gets small enough, it actually has a figure 8, 2 little holes. And you're supposed to take your line and feed it through one hole and to the second hole. And oh my gosh, in this video I actually did it looking through the camera and so quick. But imagine yourself on a windy day on a boat on, let's say, the ocean with a lot of rocky waves. You think I could have done that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But there is actually another way, which I'm gonna show you guys right now. I mentioned earlier, this is simply a uni-knot and a clinch knot together. This little thing right here where you wrap twice, right? It's a uni-knot. You guys realize what's happening, right? It's a uni-knot. So what you could do is start off by putting your 2 lines together like this and do your 2 wraps just like that. And then you pull down, not all the way yet. See, same thing, the figure 8. All right, so next step is you just do a clinch knot, right? And it's very simple. You're just gonna wrap yourself up, and I'm gonna do 8 times here. 6, 7, 8, all right? And then you just put your line, your tag end, to the loop that you just created at the beginning, right here. Okay, just stick it through. And then this is where you have to wet your line, all right? And start pulling your line down. And as you see, the tag end started to bundle up a little bit. You just pull it out a little bit. Keep pulling down, and eventually your stuff, your clinch knot is going to start bunching up into the uni knot. You don't want that, okay? So once you get it that low, then you can actually start pulling your uni knot and just pull just a little bit, not all the way down because you still need to get it through, but you just don't want it where it's just so big, right, that your knot starts sliding underneath that uni knot. But anyway, it's still wet, so I'm going to start pulling this thing down, all right? So pretty much is right there, and it's going to basically clinch onto each other. The clinch knot and uni knots, 2 wraps. And if you use thin line, you should use more wraps. And I'm gonna show you guys later on my finished product back here with my thinner line. I use 4 wraps, okay? But we're not done yet. Everything's still wet. Your tag end, it's really important that you pull it just a little bit more. You could use your teeth and bite the tag end. You like to put like a little overhand knot so it helps easier, or you use pliers. When I am on the water, I'm actually using pliers because you don't know how dirty the water is, and these braided line could pick up a lot of gunk, okay? So anyways, I'm just gonna take this and just do a quick pull a little bit so everything start getting a little tighter, all right? And then we'll wrap it up and do a nice final pull. All right, so I pulled it. It looks really great. Let me just put on the macro lens. All right, see how that looks? It's not too bad. I think I made 1 extra wrap because I couldn't get the one at the end, but I should be able to yank it, but let's take a look. I just want to make sure I can get it for you guys. All right, so I tore my tag end, but it doesn't look like I could get it because it's probably, yeah, it's 1 extra wrap. So I should have done probably 7 wraps for this because, again, this is thick line here. Thinner line, you should do more wraps. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And we're almost done. What we need to do next is we need to trim this tag end there. Okay, and then here, if you're afraid, because, you know, Clinch Knot do have a reputation of slipping. I'm pretty confident with my knot and how thick, you know, this braid line. It has enough cushion that it won't slip. But if you guys are afraid, all you have to do is snip, leave a little bit tag end, and take a little handy dandy lighter. And you, of course, need to wet the line, and it should be wet, still wet right there. And we're just gonna melt that down. Get it to the mushroom head and tap it down right onto it, and that should actually make it a lot harder to slip through. And you could technically do this too with the mono end right there. That is it for the Slim Beauty for here. Let me pull the thinner one so you guys can actually see it. 4-pound test line mono, and then 15-pound test line braided line. And I'm gonna bring this guy close so you guys can see it. Check that out. I didn't need to double up my braided line because their diameter is very close, but I did do 10 wraps using a braid, and I did 4 wraps on my uni-knot. And it will hold very strong, okay? Once again, if you guys have very thin braided line and you actually use thicker leader, like if I were to use this braided line, my 15-pound braided line with 20-pound mono, you have to double up your braided line. So you just, you know, fold it over just like that, and, you know, just go to town, tie it. And the reason why you want to double up is so that you can create cushion. With thin line, you got to have some cushion so it doesn't slip. Especially when you wrap it around a thicker line. So doubling up will solve that problem. So guys, that's how you tie the Slim Beauty knot. I left you guys with 3 tips. So let's do a quick recap. The first one is you must realize that the little 8-figure loop thing is just a uni knot. So tie the uni knot using your leader material onto your braid directly. No need to make that 8 loop and you know, waste time on that. The second tip is make sure you guys know your line diameters. If you guys use thin lines, make sure you guys do more wraps, and potentially you may want to double up your braided line. And if you guys have thick line, you guys can use less wraps. And the last tip is use a lighter if you guys really need it. But I am pretty confident if you guys actually tighten this down maybe 80% of the way, and then you tighten the tag end, then go back to tighten your main line, that should pretty much eliminate the need to use the lighter. Have you guys ever used this knot before? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. And if you guys have any questions or comments, suggestions about this knot, also feel free to leave me a comment below. Thank you guys for watching. The fish don't wait. Make sure you guys are not confident.